Welcome back to the Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky. Last time we completed all of our quests here on Milch Main Road, and now it's time to complete our primary objective by heading to Purzel Farm. And we have possibly the most relaxing piece of video game music of all time, one of them at least. This song is called A Cat Relaxing in the Sun, which kind of sums it up. We can actually check out the whole farm, but there's really not that much to see besides where you have to go. We can have fun trying to talk to chickens, though. Anyway. Now we can check in the greenhouses too, but again, there's really not much in here. Okay, we do know that Tio's here. And these two seem to be quite familiar with the family that owns the farm. Ah yes, in order to get into the cow paddock, we actually have to head through here. Sorry, that's kind of fun too sometimes. And here's Tio. I think there's actually another character in a later game in the series who has a very similar name. So Tio's always kind of confused me in this one. So, classic RPG logic of, the people are only back after you've talked to the right other people. And, yeah, they got to the house. They must have rolled a really good stealth check getting back, because we didn't notice them at all. So, good thing we have that to explain why we're here. But you know, Estelle and Joshua know these people. They'd probably let them in anyway. For later jobs, we'll definitely need referrals. Yeah, we just fought an exploding pine cone. I'm sure whatever you can throw at us is not going to be anywhere near as crazy as that, or the shining poms. You know, it would be pretty nice to eat a home-cooked meal in an actual farm. I'm sure you get a lot of fresh food there. And mercifully, the game skips us straight to nighttime. And just like Estelle said, Joshua does well with kids. That reminds me a lot of my sister when I'm with my dad and my half-siblings. Yeah. They always loved her. Get used to this, Joshua actually has a lot of fangirls. And Estelle's kind of oblivious to it, though she's oblivious to a lot of things. Well, that's an awkward time for him to comment on the conversation. I feel like you can describe Estelle as the female equivalent of a typical shonen protagonist, at least at this point in the game. She honestly fits the bill pretty much perfectly. And gone. Joshua clearly does have a lot of secrets, but they're not of the girl trouble kind. So, it's Monster Patrol time. Firstly, we can just head back into the house to see what everyone has to say. They're still up at this hour. I'm sure we can handle it. Okay, not vicious, just quick. That means we'll probably need to rely on magic to hit them. You know, I don't think I've ever actually tried talking to the kids before in an earlier playthrough. I know I keep saying it, but if you are playing this series, I would highly recommend talking to everyone at every possible opportunity. But it seems like there's nothing in the greenhouse. Doesn't look like there's anything over here. No monsters near these. I think those are eggplants. Yeah, they look like eggplants. Or some equivalent in this world. Actually, Zemuria has most of the same kinds of fruit and vegetables as the real world. The localization team actually put a lot of effort into making sure they don't use any metaphors that only make sense with real world terms. Yeah, that's one way to put it. Maybe let's not talk about where babies come from for the time being. But yeah, just the fact that details like, you know, what they tell the kids when kids ask where babies come from are fleshed out about this universe. It's just amazing. The cows seem fine. Unless the cows are the monsters. Nah. They're just your everyday bog-standard cows. But it looks like we might have found something. Yeah, that definitely looks like a chubby cat-like creature. Okay, so at this point, I wasn't really aware of this the first time I played the game, but there's actually a bonus BP criteria. We have to sneak up on the monsters and catch them without them seeing us on the first try, so I might want to save here. I've never actually screwed this up before, to the point where I didn't even know it was possible to screw up, but just in case I'll save. Yeah, there we go. If you sneak up behind the creatures... Here's what we're actually there for. We have a couple of smaller crop munchers and one large crop muncher. The crop munchers like to run around and play dead, which doesn't really do all that much other than get them further away from you and waste their turns. But the big crop muncher can kick up sand and inflict blind status on you. Now, from a speedrun of this game that I watched, apparently the large crop muncher likes to attack Estelle. But, okay, the small crop munchers have more HP than this thing, that's weird. I'm not 100% sure on that, but, well, the speedrun said it. And it can use arts as well. Now, if I get feint status here, that'd be amazing. No feint. Oh well. Airstrike. Thankfully, Airstrike has no chance of a secondary effect, so don't need to worry too much about that. Well, this thing's going down pretty quickly. I had Joshua start a little further forward than Estelle because his range is shorter, but evidently not far enough forward. I believe the big one can actually heal itself too. Yep, like that. By using its namesake technique, Crop Munch. Yeah, I guess I'll aim a spell at it. They just waste their turns getting up, and, I think Estelle's spell might finish it off. I'm not sure, but for now I'll just have Joshua attack this thing before it plays dead again. Yeah, weirdly, they seem more durable than the big one. Just barely didn't finish it. The small ones, though, they mostly like to waste their turns playing dead. They don't even do that much damage. Okay, eye poke. Yeah, this is the blinding attack. And it was fast enough to get 2 turns in a row. Okay, let's, can't quite swipe that plus 50 strength turn, but I can use Tear to get Joshua into the 50% strength turn, except he's blinded, so he can't really make much use of it, unfortunately. But if I use Soul Blur, I can actually hit a 50% strength turn. Yes, the plus 50% strength turns do affect magic as well as physical attacks, so bear that in mind. They also affect healing as well, or specifically critical turns affect healing in this game. So you'll actually heal more if you heal on a critical turn, which I was about to say I can show off now, but I can't quite get the spell to go off on a critical turn. I guess let's aim it there. Don't want to waste this critical spell from Estelle there. And then I might try and do some, can't push the enemy out of that critical turn. Let's just go, can't actually do Dual Strike. Yeah, some crafts have really short range, which can be a bit annoying. And yes, that was a critical heal. We actually got an enemy to demonstrate that for us. Overall, though, these enemies are kind of a joke. They're not much of a threat at all. Even with Crop Munch, they're not going to be healing themselves very much. Just for the heck of it, let's see how much damage I do with this. Or it could miss completely. It's funny, I've been missing a lot more with Joshua than I usually do in this run, and Estelle is completely out of EP. Yeah, this is not really a difficult fight, just an annoying one. Especially if they start spamming Crop Munch like that. Moving does delay your turn less than attacking, just to put that out there. And dead. And I can't delay my turn with any arts. Okay then, it's gonna get a 50% strength turn. I don't think I'll be able to outrun it either. But Joshua's far away, so he can use this. Now this Seepeth upturn might be useful because these things drop time Seepeth, which is something that I really want right now. And there we go, enemies defeated. Yeah, 7 times Seepeth. Doesn't seem like that much, but every little bit counts. Each one gets me one step closer to getting the Blind Quartz, which I really, really want. And, yeah, both of Estelle's options here are, you know, kind of showing pity on them. Thankfully, this game is not Xenoblade Chronicles X, where not killing babies at one point results in them growing up and murdering an NPC. Oh man, I hate that side quest. But anyway, this is a completely different game. This brings up an interesting point about Bracer missions, though. Even though Joshua is suggesting killing them, the clients are suggesting sparing them. And in this case, we're supposed to prioritize our client's wishes. It does give a nice insight into Estelle and Joshua's characters here. Joshua being more inclined to see the pragmatic side of things, and Estelle being a lot more idealistic. Hopefully they don't come back. So that seems like a job well done. That's a major exaggeration there, Joshua. I like that scene. Despite all their comedic banter, these two have a really nice relationship as well. And so that's another job well done. Sadly, we actually never need to return to the farm again for the whole game. You'd think with how much they built up its importance to Estelle and Joshua's childhood, that you'd need to go back there at some point, or they'd just give it more focus, but they don't. Still, what little focus it did get was pretty nice. So, we've actually completed all of our current jobs, so there's nothing left for us to do but to get attacked by a red Insectos. Knock knock, who's there? The interrupting red Insectos. The interrupting red Insectos who? The interrupting red Insectos is about to get burned in the face. Right now. Yeah, I am so mad at this thing, I'm showing this fight. I don't care. Because Joshua's about to get his S-Craft, and even though it feels like a bit of a waste... Let's see, I should probably heal him first, though. Yeah, I think he will heal. Actually, I probably won't even need the S-Craft. It is just barely still alive, isn't it? I'm just curious to see how much HP it still has. 1! Of course it had 1! Die. Well, at least we both got S-Crafts out of that. Okay, hopefully that is the only unplanned diversion in our trip back home. High-flying feline. Yeah. There is actually a quartz that you can get that displays enemies as a red dot on the map, and that's... Once I get that, I usually tend to keep it equipped for the rest of the playthrough just out of convenience. We won't have access to that for a little while, though, unfortunately. And here we are back in Rolands. I don't think anyone's updated their dialogue. Except, I think if we head to the church, which we've actually never been to before... Yeah, we can see the mysterious girl in uniform again. Also, this guy's name is Father Divine. Yeah. A lot of people in this town seem to have really weirdly fitting names for their professions, but this one strikes me as kind of ridiculous. Also, his dialogue here is somewhat significant. Father Divine's actually a somewhat semi-major NPC. We'll be dealing with him in sidequests a bit later. Anyway, before we do anything else, I want to see if I can either open up slots or make some new quartz. Let me see. No, I can't quite get blind yet. I'm saving up for that one. But I am going to need to open up a slot on Estelle for later, so I might as well get that done right now. Joshua, I already have enough slots open up on his quartz for what I want to do later anyway. But it would be beneficial to open up more because, you know, he's actually the better magic user of these two. Okay, so the kids are playing around here now, and they're talking about Mayor Klaus. I wonder if he'll be important to the story soon. Okay, let's quickly check the bulletin board. Yep, there's a whole bunch of new quests that we can do, actually. Mushroom Hunt, Ornament Replacement, Medical Necessities, and Soldier Training. Okay, Medical Necessities is one that I'm kind of dreading, but firstly, let's go ahead and report in our jobs. Yeah, you get plus 2 BP for the farm job if you successfully catch the crop munchers in one go. Yeah, the Bracer Guild is kind of like a neutral organization, and that actually means that some government authorities don't really like them. So, what's our next mission? We actually won't be taking care of that one just yet, though. Transportation of goods, and yep, they were mentioning the mayor back in town. So we're going to be dealing with him directly next. You can actually go and visit the mayor much earlier in the game than this, but you had no need to at this point. Anyway, let's report our side quests. 2 BP and 30 mirror for Find the Shiny... Wow, 30 mirror! That kid is a cheapskate. And Milch Road Monster. Yes, 600 mirror for that one. And we're now a Junior Bracer 8th class, which gets us the Information Quartz. Anyway, the Information Quartz is kind of interesting, and I might as well put that on Estelle now. In terms of overall elemental value, it's not that useful. It doesn't really provide much in the way of good arts for this point in the game. But this lets you... I can probably demo it the next time we're out in the field. It lets you see more detailed info on the enemy's stats. It also, if you look at the monster notebook for a second here, if we look at the monsters we've already fought, we can't see their actual stats here. If you fight them when you have the Information Quartz equipped though, you actually will get their direct stats listed. Anyway, Mushroom Hunt, long term. We'll be taking care of that. That's actually on the way to where the mayor needs the thing delivered, so we'll be taking care of that one a bit later. Ornament Replacement. Highly recommended that you do this one immediately. Medical Necessities. I highly recommend putting this one off as long as physically possible. This one's from Father Divine, and this one requires you to go to a location that's a little out of our league at this point, before the plot demands that you go there. I'll be talking at length about this quest a bit later because it's actually pretty important. Because there's actually a lot of interesting things to note about it. But anyway, Soldier Training. This one we should also take care of immediately. So we have to go to Vert Bridge and do some special training. This one actually has an additional BP requirement to it. Okay, we already did some jobs on the Milch Main Road, but now we're going to go back into Milch Main Road for a few more jobs. This one, like I said, is kind of important. Because the quartz we'll get out of it is going to let us have early access to Ariel. Because of that fact alone, this is the one side quest that speedruns of this game actually do. Yeah, early Ariel is that good. So we have to replace a part in a broken light. Road lamp number 6 on the Milch Main Road. You can easily tell which one it is because it's the only one that actually lets you examine it. Don't worry about this number, it's actually written down in your Bracer notebook. So you don't need to memorize it right now. In fact, you don't need to memorize it at all. I'll explain why later, but this gives you a little bit of indication. Yeah, they justify why people can travel down the main roads without monsters attacking them. The lights are actually monster repellent, and that's why it's really vital that we fix this one. Fixing road lamps that ward off monsters is actually a recurring theme for early game side quests in most of the Trails games. I know they allude to it directly in one of the Cold Steel quests as well. So, that's that job accepted. For the other one, we actually just have to go straight to Vert Bridge. Huh, news travels fast when it comes to her. Okay, so here we are on the main road. Okay, here's another light. Another one. And, yeah. You can tell which one it is because it's the only one that lets you actually examine it, like I said. Now, at this point, you might want to prepare for a fight. Because you're gonna get ambushed as you're putting the light fixture in. You have to choose one of the two to fight while the other one enters the combination. So Joshua's kind of better at fighting at this point than Estelle is, although he's a little weaker defensively. But if you choose Joshua for the fight, Estelle has to remember the combination. In other words, you the player have to remember it. If you choose Estelle to handle the fight and Joshua to handle changing the lights, Joshua always remembers the combination. So either way, you get the bonus BP if you get the combination right. Since Joshua always gets the combination right, it's more convenient to let Estelle handle the fight. Okay then. A clone of Estelle just appeared. This might be a slight bug in this game's full screen mode. I don't know why that happened, but okay. Thankfully these flying felines aren't too bad, but there are a lot of them. Here's where you might need to be a bit careful about casting spells willy-nilly because you don't want Estelle's turns to be delayed too much. As we can see here, a couple of the flying felines are about to get turns on us, and you know what, I think... Okay, for now I'm just going to hold off. They can charge up for a kick attack, which they're not doing, and I get a 10% healing turn. I think I'll actually heal. Something to also note about healing in this game is that healing is always fixed, regardless of your character's stats, which means it can actually be worthwhile to, yeah, I'll actually target this one, because if I kill this one off, then one less attacks me after these two go. Yeah, like I was saying, it's actually kind of worthwhile to give healing spells to your physical attackers, because since healing is always fixed, it doesn't matter if it's a physical or a magical attack who uses it, you'll always heal the same amount. And yeah, by planning things out that way, Estelle gets another turn immediately, and that means she gets to kill off another one of these guys. And I might as well go for style points and use an S-Craft on the final one. And gone. That wasn't too bad. You might hear me say this often, but on Nightmare that fight can actually be a threat. Thankfully, the clone of Estelle has vanished. By the way, you might want to remember that combination. There will actually be a quiz on that in a later game. This quest is considered pretty iconic to this game overall, since it gets referenced quite a lot in later installments. She was doing a pretty good job handling those enemies, so it's probably understandable if she wants to fight more. But anyway, that quest is successfully completed now, so we can turn that in. But first, let's head over... Actually, I'm going to go back to Rolands and heal Estelle at the heal point. I just realized I actually don't need to go back and heal, because they heal you automatically before you do the soldier training. I would definitely recommend saving beforehand, though. This is another one that has bonus BP, and you can't just cheap it out by letting Joshua do it for you. This time, in order to get the bonus BP, we're going to be engaging in a training battle against a few soldiers. In order to get the BP, we have to win without anyone being KO'd, and the soldiers hit pretty hard too. So do we have to paint our clothes red if we're going to act as generic enemy soldiers? Like I said, they fully heal you before this one. You'll actually need it. This fight can be pretty tough. I almost feel bad for them. Let's go. Okay. Right, Joshua's going first this time. Yes, I have actually failed this already at least once. As you can see here, the information quartz is showing the full descriptions of these guys. They have 0 motivation, but lots of power. Lots of power is right. In fact, I really don't want them to both attack Joshua right from the start, because he might actually go down if that happens. Okay, that was incredibly lucky. Their paintball attack is kind of inaccurate, thankfully. I think I'll have Estelle act as healer for now. And thankfully Joshua is fast enough to... There we go, there's Feint. So I don't think I fully explained this before, but enemies that are inflicted with Feint can't move. In Cold Steel, enemies that are inflicted with Feint are automatically critical by attacks targeted at them. That's not the case in the Sky games. You'll still see them get their turn, they just won't do anything on their turn. However, when they wake up is kind of random, so you still want to pay attention to the turns of enemies with Feint. Okay, Feint on both of them. Yeah, you can see why I consider time magic to be incredibly powerful. Right, do I go for morale? I might want to try morale here just to see if I can do a little bit more, or maybe... Aqua Bleed's going to delay her turn quite a bit, and I don't like that at all. But I could try and focus down on the non-fainted one just to try and take them out quickly. If worse comes to worse, I can use an S-Craft. Because an S-Craft right now could finish it. Paintball can inflict... Okay, yeah, that other guy's got up. That's really bad. Don't attack Estelle, please. Okay, good, he just went for Joshua. I actually think that in order to get the bonus BP here, all you need to do is win. I don't think it's entirely necessary that you win without anyone KO'd. The guide I was reading for that might have been misinformed in that regard. I could just straight up attack, but I have a feeling that Estelle's not going to do much damage. Enemies in the higher difficulties don't take that much damage from physical attacks. Hence why magic is kind of better. And I think right now... I think I'm just going to S-Craft with Joshua. I don't know if this will finish him, though. I have a feeling this will do more than 60 damage, let me see. Yep, definitely more than 60. Okay, that's good. And they drop Time Seepers. Great. want as much of that as we can get. Very close to 50, too. You know, I think about it, because you actually do count as completing the quest even if you lose this fight. I think you just have to win to get the bonus BP. I think winning without anyone KO'd is a bit of a misconception. Yeah, please don't try and sass someone who just beat the crap out of you. Yeah, you really don't want lazy border guards, so you two need to step up your game. I consider that probably the first challenging fight in this game overall, even though it's optional. So, soldier training is completed. And that's all the quests we can take care of on this side of Roland right now. We've got to go back and talk to Freddy, though, to fully complete the light quest, so let's head back to Roland now. And we definitely want to turn this one in as quickly as possible, because the reward we get from it, well, I've already talked about that. There it is, Impede 2. This is useful not so much for its ability to prevent the enemy's arts, like he says, but for the fact that it gives you 3 wind energy, which means you only need 1 more wind quartz to use aerial. And that's why I preemptively opened a slot on Estelle earlier. So, let's actually take care of that right now. Impede 2, and Evade 1. We now have one of the best early game skills. But since I've swapped the HP off of Estelle, I might as well put it on Joshua, just so that I have healing on someone. And since we completed those quests, might as well report them into the guild. Ordnance replacement, bonus BP acquired. Soldier training, bonus BP acquired. Everything seems good. And yeah, the receptionists at the Bracers Guild always say the exact same things. So we just have 2 quests left to go, Mushroom Hunt and Medical Necessities. We'll be taking care of Mushroom Hunt next time. Medical Necessities we'll be putting off for a little bit though. I will say that if you do put off Medical Necessities now, later on you are going to have to complete a monster quest in order to get to where you need to go for Medical Necessities. The monster quest is not too hard to finish though, so it's not that bad to put it off for now. Talking to this guy here, he actually explains a little bit about the backstory of the 100 Days War. So, yeah, he used to be a soldier and then he took a piece of shrapnel in the knee. I'm so sorry. Anyway, next time we'll be seeing exactly what request the mayor has for us, so see you all then. So I'm sure a lot of you are wondering what happens if you have Joshua fight the monsters here, and it creates a clone of Joshua over there. Yeah, this game was really not designed for full screen mode at all. I only record in full screen mode because it actually gives better quality than windowed mode. Also, that line's great. I almost talked over that line. So yeah, this way Joshua has to fight off these enemies himself. They don't hit very hard at all, so he doesn't really have that bad of a time here. Though I might actually need to heal, that being said. Okay, let's try and kill off one of them here. That'll get him his next turn faster. And there's going to be a critical turn coming up, which I can use for one of these attacks. I think this will hopefully be fine. Pointless feint there. Yeah, only one thing will attack him before his next turn, so I can safely go ahead and heal again. And complete fail of a crit turn there. Now with the buff strength, he's actually able to take these things out in one chill strike instead of just barely not. And that's the fight done. Haven't actually mentioned this yet, but it should be pretty obvious. When you see an enemy's sprite stop moving after getting hit by an attack, it means they're dead. That's how I could tell that Red Insectos survived much earlier. So, like I said, if you choose Estelle here, you actually have to remember the combination. And I believe the combination is 544818. Yep, that's correct. If you get it wrong, you will lose the BP. Whereas if you choose Estelle for the fight, like I said, Joshua is guaranteed to get the right combination, so the easiest way to get the best BP for this is to have Estelle handle the fight. And yeah, we get a bit of additional dialogue here. But it turns out she was just randomly guessing. So yeah, that's the alternate outcome of that quest. I think I'll actually just go for a... Yeah, wow, their defense is incredibly high. Okay, if they both attack Estelle, this could be a problem. I had a feeling I'd screw this up at least once.